Hey Aries, this is Isel. I want to go ahead and give you your reading for the second portion of December 2018. I hope you have had a good last 2 weeks. Let's just go ahead and get into your energy. So show me the energy for the sign of Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. The last portion of December 2018. Show me the energy for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. What's going on for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus? So you have the Eight of Pentacles, Aries. So putting energy into an endeavor, working hard, going back to school, getting involved with somebody where it's like you're going to be putting effort into a situation, or they are. Stabilizing things. It can sometimes be almost lost in work, overworked, you know, perfecting your craft. There's a lot of things that this card can denote. Let's just keep moving on though, okay? So you have the Two of Wands, forward movement. So in regard to what you may be putting your energy and effort into, you've got the Two of Wands. So it's like, we've made a decision, okay? Here, the way that these cards are looking at each other, we've made a decision upon what we're going to be putting our energy and effort into, what we're going to be giving ourselves over to. And I say that because it feels like this is a very long-haul investment. That's what it feels like. It's something that you're going to be investing in for a long period of time. The last card that popped out with that was the Page of Swords. So the Page of Swords, a lot of people see it as just the card of spying. It's not just about spying. It's about study. It's about a student. It's about somebody who's learning things. If you're immersed in a craft, if you're immersed in school learning, it's like the lesson, the reasoning we're getting involved here in this situation is more so to get exposure to new things, get exposure to things that we may have that we know that will project us into a new direction, but it's like you can't go in that direction until you have the energy here present for you, until you know what it is that you're getting involved in. So you have to make the decision to study it, get involved with it, and move forward. You have the King of Wands at the bottom of the deck in regard to that. So this is somebody who knows what they want and they go after it passionately. Got the Seven of Wands, Aries. I'm just going to keep pulling cards until we get enough. Need 6 more. The Eight of Swords in reverse. This is a center card. So letting go of fear, anxiety. Sometimes we get caught up in our minds in regard to what it is that we are getting involved in, or sometimes we can build stories and talk ourselves out of moving towards something just because we're afraid of it. Here, these cards here can talk about having like a lot of ambivalence, worry, anxiety in regard towards something. You know, this card is underneath that Eight of Pentacles. So in regard to what you're putting your energy into, it's like you have this like, it's almost fight or flight response to it, but it's like anxiety as well. That's kind of what it feels like. It doesn't feel like doesn't necessarily feel like you're fighting with somebody. It just feels almost as if like your energy here is one of like, it took you a while to decide upon this path that you want to go in. So you have the Hierophant here, Aries. So that's underneath the Page of Swords. So the Hierophant talks about, if I'm going to go with the thread of school, and I'll mention the other meanings of the Hierophant, there's many, but I'll throw down a few for you. In regard to education, this is about education. It's about learning. It's about connecting to people who are of like universities, larger corporations, schools, universities. This could be about counseling. It could be about doctors. It could be about a lot of different things. Healers, you know, priesthood. The Hierophant has a ton of things. It also talks about a ton of meanings. It also talks about commitment. It talks about solid marriage. It talks about long-standing commitments. Right now, honestly, Aries, I don't feel that this situation is very much one of love. I'm not seeing any people here other than this guy, the Hierophant, which is Taurus energy. Here also is a person, most definitely, but this is a very youthful energy. This is somebody who is younger, you know, like teenager. I don't think that you'd be getting involved with a teenager. And honestly, it feels more indicative of you getting involved in a situation that's going to take you for the long haul. It's like something that you're getting involved with long term, and it's taken you a while to get there. I know this is more of like a love, it's supposed to be a love and relationship readings. I can't control the energies that come through, the messages that come through. If this is about finance, if this is about going to school, I'm just going to have to read it how it is, you know. I'm sorry. Show me more for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So you have Death in reverse. That's the sign of Scorpio, so you could be dealing with a Scorpio. Either way, Death in reverse talks about a situation that we need to basically let close, let die, and yet we're having a difficult time moving away from that. You know, it's like we're drawn to it. We keep coming back to it. Sometimes that can be through toxic connection to a situation. Sometimes that can just be our ambivalence to let go because we're not sure of what's on the next, what's the next hurdle. You know, what will that bring us? It's like almost fear of the unknown. So we cling to what is present, you know, and what should be in the past, but we still cling to it. But the first card being here is the Eight of Pentacles. So definitely working hard. Second card, the Two of Wands, finding a direction. I feel that this is more about education, school. I feel this is you taking your time and giving yourself the opportunity to get involved in something that's going to give you long-term results that are going to be incredibly beneficial for you. But it's like you've had to come to the decision of getting there, of allowing it to happen. And it's like you've had this internal struggle, this fight with yourself. And like, keep coming back to like why I should, why I shouldn't, why I should stay in this current situation. But it's like that current situation, I'm going to clarify the Death card as well, but it's like that current situation, it's already dead. It's something that's dead already. You're just having a hard time releasing it. It's not helpful to you. And it's like when you see that, when you release that energy, it's like you allow yourself the opportunity for more. You allow yourself to get into a situation that's going to be beneficial for you in the long haul. Show me more for the sign of Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. Show me more for the sign of Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. So you have Justice here, Aries. So this is Libra energy. The Justice card talks about, well, it can also talk about university. It can talk about connections that are dealing with the law. You know, some of you may be going into law school. I could definitely see that here. A lot of air energy. This deals with law. If some of you are going to be lawyers, I think that that's rad. It takes a lot to be a lawyer. No wonder you might. For those of you that are planning to be lawyers, kudos. That takes a lot of energy. That takes a lot of will. Not all of you are going to be lawyers. I know that. But whatever it is that you're getting involved in, it's like this is, I feel the word second chance. It's almost as if you might be revamping something, going into something that you may have, it's like, it feels like this energy has been present before. Whatever it is that you're getting involved with, it had to take a pause, or you put it on the back burner at some point, and now it's like you're getting involved in it. Show me more. So you have the Two of Pentacles, Aries. So juggling, if you are, yeah, the Emperor at the bottom of the deck. So this is a person, most definitely, but it's also as an energy, it's juggling everything in regard to getting everything done. This person gets everything done. They make sure that every single thing is done. No nook and cranny is unchecked. And like they stabilize everything in their lives. They rule an empire. They make sure their entire lives are pretty much like, it's like Tetris. Like there is no spaces in between. Everything is lined up, blocked together. Like everything is very, very meticulous in their world, because they know that that's going to stabilize them for the long haul. In regard to a person now, In regard to a person, some of you may be off of the fence in regard to thinking that you're going to endeavor with somebody. It's like you want to now. Some of you, it's like you've had a hard time getting away from somebody, like the idea of being with somebody. There may be cause to, it's like, how do I say this? How do I say this? I don't want to, I'm feeling like three different things here. So those last two things and then this, and I don't want to make it confusing for you because I can see how that can be very, very confusing. Hang on. I'm sorry. It's like this person, it's like they may want to get involved with you. They may want to give you energy and effort and put effort into you. They see your value. They see your value. They've spied on you. You know, you may have been defensive in this situation, and it's like you've been more so in your mind. So this is more so in regard to love, okay? Some of you going to school, some of you possibly getting into law. Now, this is more so for the people that are dealing with people. It's like this person wants to potentially offer you something, and you're still on the fence about it. I don't know if you're remembering things from the past in regard to how they operated before. In reverse, this person is a very, very asshole. This person is somebody who is, well, they're not somebody to be reckoned with, and I don't say that as if they're positive. Like, they are very, very hurtful. They don't care about you. They basically treat you like shit and do what they want because they're the emperor. That, you know, you can't fight against that person. They win at all times. You'll never win with that person. Upright, the energy is better. Okay, so this reading has two different storylines. Some of you may be getting involved with work. Some of you may be going to school, studying things that you may have put on the back burner. Some of you have somebody who wants to re-up something with you. They're offering you something more. You know, you may be looking in on them as if like, okay, well, can I put energy into this situation? Are they going to put it into me? Is this going to be an equal return? Because at this point, I have options. I have the potential for something else. Can I trust them? That's what I'm feeling. And it's almost as if like there's a lot of anxiety in regard to that and towards the love aspect of this. So let's clarify. Show me the Hierophant here. Show me the Hierophant. What is the Hierophant here for? Why is the Hierophant here? You've got 3, 4 cards. How many? 4 cards. So you've got the Hangman in regard to the Hierophant. So not sure about it. You've got the Death card and the 4 of Pentacles. This is the 4 of Pentacles, but you've also got Scorpio in here. You could be dealing with a Scorpio. It doesn't have to be. But this is almost like holding on to something that you know needs to die. Holding on to some thought form or like a way that a person was in the past. You may have just cause to think that in regard to this person. They may have juggled you in the past. They may have just left you out of balance. They may have been out of balance in themselves, leaving you out of balance. It doesn't have to mean that they cheated on you. It just means that they could have not been the best at a certain point in the relationship, and it left you not being able to trust them. It's like they want to come back and give to you, but you've got this like barrier up. They want to give to you, but it's like there's a boundary up, there's a barrier up, but that needs to die if anything's to come. There's a 10 of Swords here, so it's like something has happened in the past, something that we need to get over. I don't know how this person treated you, you know. Yeah, if this is about school, it's like you have to basically let go of fear in regard to how you progress towards your goals in life. You have to do more study inside, and I know, we all have to study ourselves inside. We all have to get deeper insight in ourselves. But when I say that, it's like I'm feeling like, how do I study better? How do I achieve things on a it's like a meticulous scale. That's what I'm feeling. It's like, how do I achieve things? How do I get positively neurotic? Like, that sounds weird, but it's like OCD, but in a positive way. You know, it's like, how do I go after my goals and make them happen without driving myself insane, but making sure that they happen? That's what I'm feeling. So in regard to love, somebody has to let go of something painful that's happened in the past with this person. They're offering something further. They're offering something more. In regard to school, somebody needs to figure out how it is that they study, how they get involved with things. Also, in regard to school, you need to also be careful about how you hold on to how you learn. You know, it's like some of us learn very differently. We all have learning styles, but also some of us need to... it's like if you were a bad student in grade school, like that doesn't mean you're going to be a bad student in college or in a vocational school or like, you know, trade school or whatever it is that you're going after. That doesn't mean that you're going to be bad at law or whatever it is that you're getting involved with. It's almost as if like you need to learn how to study for this. There's a big lesson right now or a big message here in regard to you need to learn how to study, because the thing that you're going to be endeavoring in, it pivots off of that. It's like a keynote. It's a key factor here. And if you don't learn how to study properly in this situation, it causes more harm than good. That's what I'm feeling. For those of you going to school, that's what I'm feeling. In regard to love, you need to be conscious of what you're holding on to. Let's keep going. I could be there all day. Oh my God, there's like a ton of messages there. Show me justice. So you have the Nine of Pentacles flying out in reverse in regard to justice. So if this person is offering, also I do want to say here too, in regard to relationships, this can talk about marriage as well. This can talk about getting into a relationship, no longer choosing to be single, or choosing to no longer be single. Yeah. We have the Nine of Wands at the bottom of the deck, so this is basically being defensive. If you're defensive about this offer, yet you're trying to go into it, like I say, just you really need to let go of the past. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. That means you talk about it, you have thorough discussion about it, you get communication from this person that they have honest intentions and that this is not a joke. You know, if somebody's offering you marriage or somebody's offering you a connection that's stronger, or they're trying to like stabilize the situation from the past with you, you need to have full communication and clarity in regard to your situation. This also talks about finding clarity in communication. It's sometimes immature, or when we communicate in regard to those types of things, we may feel immature when we're doing it, but regardless, you have to do that. Like if you're getting involved with a person, don't be afraid to talk to them. Like talk to them, talk to them, talk to them. Show me the Page of Swords. Show me the Page of Swords. Show me the Page of Swords for Aries. So you have the Page of Cups in reverse for the Page of Swords. So basically, the Page of Cups in reverse, it's somebody who, well, it's somebody who, it's like the Page of Cups can talk about making an apology, sometimes not receiving an apology in reverse. It can talk about being out of balance emotionally in a situation. Sometimes your emotions get misconstrued with your mental clarity and the communication becomes thrown off. It's kind of like what I was saying in regard to immature communication. Sometimes this can also be, I'm not going to be taking your offer until I look deeper into this situation, until I really look into what you're offering me. So it's like critiquing the situation to a very, very strong degree, just because it's like you're not sure about it. You know, if this person is offering to you that they are going to put energy and effort into you, that they want to create a relationship with you, yet you've had a history with them in the past that is something that's left you hurt, something that has left you off kilter in regard to trusting them, you may have some reservation in regard to taking their offer. At the bottom of the deck, though, in regard to the Page of Cups in reverse, you have the Three of Pentacles. So this is basically somebody wanting to make an offer. And like the Three of Pentacles talks about working with somebody. It talks about being in connection to your partner and working towards the same goals, the same outcomes. I want to be with you. I want to date you. I want to marry you. You have the Three of Pentacles, you've got the Hierophant, and you've got the Justice card with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, with the Eight of Pentacles at the first of the deck. So with the Magician over here. So if somebody's trying to, I don't have the Judgment card. I don't have the Three of Cups here. I don't have the Six of Cups. I don't have cards. I don't have cards that say reconciliation. I do have a giant feeling that somebody's trying to reconcile with you. They're trying to reconcile their past with you. They're trying to communicate. At this point, I don't feel that they are the worst person in the world, honestly. Some of you, and also I want to say this too, some of you that choose to not go back into this situation, it's almost as if you take the time and you make the consideration towards yourself to go back into school, to get involved in something that's going to be beneficial towards you. It's like you take the reins of your life and you make the decision to involve yourself in something that's going to be very arduous, laborious. Again, there's a feeling where you need to become very, you need to learn how to study. You need to learn how to not be distracted. So yeah, if you decide not to take this situation, then it's like you get involved with something else. Show me Death in reverse. So you have the Eight of Wands and you've got the Page of Pentacles in regard to the Death card. So it's like this is wanting to communicate, you know, this is wanting to come back to the past, communicate about the past, communicate about what's going on. It's like this person can't let it go or you can't let it go. In regard to this person, if you're rehashing things from the past and like that's the hurdle that you have in regard to deciding whether you want to go forward with them, you need to communicate about it. You need to communicate about it. Oh, I want to say communicate about it aggressively. You need to communicate about it very thoroughly. You have the Page of Pentacles here. So this is basically, the Page of Pentacles talks about somebody who is, they don't get involved with things that are willy-nilly. This is also the beginnings of a situation. It's like this person wants to communicate the potential for a beginning. And you know what? It's like, I feel almost as if like this person has matured. You know, you may be seeing them as how they were, okay? You may be seeing them as how they were, and it's like you're not closed off to the possibility that they may change, but I feel like they've changed here. It feels like they've grown up, but you're still viewing them in the old way, in the old cycle. So you need to cut that out and not hold on. This Four of Pentacles, this guy talks about holding on to energy that needs to die. It needs to be cycled out. You've got the Death card with that, so that needs to go. You've got the Empress at the bottom of the deck, Aries. So in regard to this, like if this is being offered after communication, solid communication about what needs to die, what needs to go, so things can be revamped, it leaves you in a very solid place. It leaves you in a solid place, but it also leaves you going towards a solid commitment. It leaves you going towards a solid commitment. So, you know, again, in regard to relationships, this leaves you going in a solid commitment, going toward a solid commitment. In regard to school, it leaves you going towards something that once you get involved with it, once it's completed, it's a long-term thing. This is long-term. I'm feeling very long-term here. So this is not willy-nilly. This is not energy that just gets like, you know, thrown about. This is something that is committed. You must commit to this, whether this be a relationship or whether this be school, you must commit to it. And if it's school, the outcome is the Empress, which is abundance. It's heavy abundance. You know, it's where you are taking care of yourself. You're in a position to take care of your family, your loved ones, everybody around you. You have a lifestyle that is conducive to your desires. You know, it's not like you're going paycheck to paycheck, like you have enough. You know, that's what this situation is talking about. Okay? Show me the energy of the Emperor here. So you have the Devil and you've got the Knight of Swords. So if this person is coming to you wanting to talk about things from the past that need to die, they may be wanting to communicate about this lower level energy, toxic energy, where it's like they may have hurt you in the past. You could also be dealing with a Capricorn. It doesn't have to be. But it's basically, it's like they want to cut that out. They want to cut that energy out. The Knight of Swords talks about getting to the bottom of things. He's he doesn't bullshit. It's like, this is what I'm talking about. You must communicate aggressively. I feel like I said that a minute ago. You must communicate aggressively in regard to what it is that's taken place in the past. I feel that this is more so in regard to like this person's ways, how they were, or like how somebody was. It's like it brings up their negative aspects, and it's negative aspects that they might not want to look at or are very difficult for them to look at. And it's almost as if the way that you're communicating or the way that somebody's communicating here about that, it's like it drives it home to like where they have to look at it. But it's like the way that they've changed and grown, it's like they offer you the opportunity for them to look at it, even if it causes them to feel very uncomfortable. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. It's like they have to, it's like they have to step up to the plate in regard to what they've done, or like how they've been, or like how they've treated you. And it may be difficult for them to look at, but it's something that what they desire with you is, it's like they're going to look at that for you. They're going to look at that for themselves, because it's like this is a milestone, a growing point in their life. It's a growth point. And they're going to communicate that with you. You have the Hierophant at the bottom of the deck. So again, this energy of stabilization. This Taurus energy is very stable. It's very, it wants what it wants, and it's going to do how it needs to do to get it, you know. In regard to love, show me. I'm going to pull out the dual romance angels. Show me in regard to love, romance angels, in regard to this situation in love. Release your ex. Release your ex. So in regard to this situation, they may have had to release an ex to get to you, which may have been part of the reason why there's been a blockage. You may also need to release the idea of how they were as your ex-partner and come into a new understanding of them. I'm going to pull another card for that. Show me release your ex. So you have the Eight of Swords here. Okay, you've got the Eight of Swords here. You have the Eight of Swords here in the center of the reading, but it's now in reverse. So this is coming to a decision. Here, we're still thinking about decision, and like we're clouded in our thinking. It's like we've got analysis paralysis. Have you ever heard that term? It's like when we think and think and think, and then we just like freeze and we can't make any decisions, because it's like everything that we've thought of, there's too many options, you know, there's too many potentials. Here, we've released that. We figured out what we want, and we're going towards what we want. Release your ex. I'm going to pull one more card. Show me release your ex. No. Too many cards. Release your ex. One more for Aries, please. Show me release your ex for Aries. So you have the Six of Swords. Yeah, so Aries, this is talking about getting out of your mind. Getting out of your mind, Aries, and it talks about basically moving towards the future. Letting the past go. It doesn't mean forgetting the past. It means looking at the past heavily, communicating with this person, and letting it go. Letting the aspects of your ex, let them go, you know. If this person is returning to you, You need to do some reevaluation in regard to this. You still have options. You still have options and potentials in regard to what you want. I'm sorry for all the glare, but you have options. If you want to let this situation go and not work on it with this person, you still have school. You still have things that you can pick up in life that you left. So, all right, Aries, I'm going to let it go from here. I hope you found this reading helpful. My name is Isel. I'm on YouTube as the Altruistic Mystic. And if this resonated with you, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. And if it didn't, maybe I'll have another reading at some point for you that does. And always seek other readers too. So, yeah, Aries, I hope everything goes well for you. And, yeah, happy holidays and all that stuff. And good luck with everything. Bye-bye.